Hey guys, it's me Lemel from ADHD Aquatics, and today we have new fish. Can you guess what it is before I open it? So these are special from Scheller Aquatics. First we have some lab grade paramecium, and he also gave me some golden pearls, 5 to 50 micron size. I'm pretty excited to try that out for the little baby fishes. And then we have, you can kind of see it. You know what it is? We have a male black ram. We got 2 males and 2 females. So this is what the first male looks like. We are going to put them in some 10 gallons I have up on the top rack. I figured they'd be the warmest. We have to clean these tanks up, you guys. They are super gross. Nothing has lived in these tanks for a while. Just some snails, which fortunately have kept the cycle going. There's a female. I figured I would put a male on the outside and then the 2 females in the middle and then the other male on the outside, and then there's 2 more fish underneath of these black rams here. So I have 6 10 gallons up on this top shelf, and we heat the room to 85. Now the heating system that we have installed isn't quite strong enough to get it up to 85. It keeps the room around 80 with the help of another heater until we can figure out the clogged drain. What is going on here? Until we can figure out the clogged drain in the fish room, I can't run the continuous water system, which is also going to help heat the fish room. When you're constantly pumping in 80-degree water into the tanks, a lot of that thermal mass helps heat up the room. So until we can get that clog fixed, we're going to be struggling with the heat for a while. This is a gold ram. Scheller gave me 2 of them. They're unsexed, so I'm just going to keep them separate until they grow up. I don't want them to hurt each other. I heard that they can be pretty aggressive. We might end up having to get a separate boiler for the fish room because it's just running off of our hot water tank. It's not a dad bod, it's a father figure. I got that for Zach when we found out I was pregnant. He loves that shirt. Perfect. Yeah, look at how gross these tanks are, you guys. The hard water stains, and it's just bad. So these tanks actually are not warm enough for the rams. We need to keep them at least 82 or else they'll get sick and die. So we are going to clean these tanks up and fix the temperature problem real quick. I just use a green Scotch-Brite to scrub all the gross calcium stuff off of the glass. I'm not sure if that's okay or not, but that's what I do. It doesn't seem to scratch the glass or ruin the silicone. I got a lot of tips and tricks from Scheller Aquatics on how to spawn these guys, and I'm pretty excited to try it. We have the same water basically. He lives about an hour south of me, but all the water is the same in the Utah Valley. Okay, I'm going to set up this paramecium culture. I'm just going to try my best to replicate what he had in his fish room. So he said he had some Catappa leaves and then soft water. So I had 2 jugs of distilled. I think actually one of them was spring water by accident. One of them was distilled, but I think it should be fine. And just a little bit of yeast. Just a little bit. And I actually didn't have any lettuce or any vegetables in the house, so I had to call in emergency reinforcements, and my friend Taylor ended up dropping off some Brussels sprouts to us. You'll see here in a little bit, but you can see I added heaters to these tanks, these 10 gallons where we're going to be putting the rams, because I don't want them to get too cold and sick and die. and I'm still just cleaning them up. I figured another way to get the temperature up quickly would be to do water changes. So even though I have the automatic water changes system set up, it's just a trickle. So I'm gonna just stir up these dirty tanks and get all the dirty dirt stuff into the water column and just suck most of the water out, and then I'll refill it with warmer water until Zach can build me my special master fish breeder Dean bucket. He's got like this special bucket that has like a sump pump in it that he uses to gravel vac his tanks, which I really want one of those. Until I can get that, this is just how I do it. You can see it sucking up all the gross stuff here. You might think it's silly, but it works for me. At least it's the way I like to do it. I could have taken the water level a little lower, but I really didn't want to expose the heaters. You can see the water temperature is 78, almost 80, so we'll say like 79. And here you can see I lowered the water level down to the same level on all 6 tanks for all 6 rams that we got. And I turned the water system on, and we're filling them up with 80-degree water. Hallelujah. The rams are still doing good in the bag, and the temperature's coming up on the tanks, which is pretty good. Don't worry about that 5-gallon in the middle. We gotta still tie that in. Those 5 gallons don't have water. I hate those water stains that you get on the front of your glass. So I'm just using a kinda damp paper towel to wipe them off. I like to keep the glass nice and clean, especially for filming. Though admittedly I'm not the best at it. You can see that the tanks are filling up at different rates, but the temperatures come up to 82, which is what we want. And I'm just going to turn the valves off as the tanks fill up. It's the way my husband piped them in. They just fill up differently. And this one's almost overflowing, so we can turn it off any second now. Yep. And I just went and did that for the rest of the tanks. So a tip that I got from Scheller Aquatics was to keep them separate for 3 weeks and condition them with bloodworms, frozen bloodworms, just feeding them 3 or 4, maybe 5 bloodworms a day. Or was it twice a day? I don't remember. I think it was just once a day. So I'll do that for 3 weeks and get the female nice and fat. And in the meantime, I'll be building their breeding tank. I was thinking about using a 20 long that's up on the top rack. Look at how much pressure comes through when all of the 10-gallon valves are closed except for one. That's insane. So I can just open one and just do water changes on one tank if I want. So in an upcoming episode, I'll be cutting up some terracotta pots to build their breeding tank and their breeding setup. Here is a Brussels sprout that I'm boiling. Thank you, Taylor, for bringing me Brussels sprouts. Hopefully that will be a good substitute for lettuce. I'm pretty sure Brussels sprout is just a smaller version of cabbage, isn't it? And gotta love the one-handed cutting. Don't judge me. I think I did pretty good for one-handed. I'm pretty sure that knife was dull too. So I put a little bit in there, and I'm going to add the paramecium culture. I'm scared to death of this thing crashing or me doing it wrong, so I'm going to save a little bit and set up a second culture tomorrow. Check out my long fork, you guys. I figured I would give the rest of the plecos in here. I've never fed vegetables to my plecos before, I'll be honest. This is my first time ever. And it's a Brussels sprout, which is like kind of depressing because Brussels sprouts don't taste good unless you fry them up in garlic and butter. But this is the part everyone's been waiting for. So here we go. We're releasing the rams. The water temperature is finally where we need it to be. It's got all new water in these old neglected tanks. I've scraped the glass. I've wiped the front of the glass. Look at how beautiful this fish is. I cannot believe that when I took him out of the bag, he stayed right near the front of the tank, right near me. And he wasn't scared at all. He looks a little stressed out, I'll admit. I should have tested our pH, but I'm pretty sure me and Scheller have the same water, 7.7-ish. We both use a 0.5 micron filter system. I think the ultra filtration, I'd have to look up the statistics again, or all the stats on that filter. It might be smaller than 0.5. I think it was 0.05 or something. I don't remember, but we both filter our water at the relatively the same rate, so it should be fine. Here goes the next tank over. This is the female. And I talked to Scheller about moving them and how I was worried that their bond or their pair would break, but he assured me that they're not monogamous and it doesn't matter. So I can keep them separate to condition them and then put a male and female together and they should spawn. So we're going to test that out. I don't know how it works. I've never spawned rams before. I have hard water with lots of calcium, so when I go to spawn them, I'm going to have to use RO water and really keep the water soft so the eggs don't get like calcified. She did really well right out of the bag. She's gorgeous. Absolutely love the black rams. They are incredible. And apparently no one is selling them anymore in the valley, so this could be pretty lucrative for me if I could get my act together and somehow become successful. It is going to be a little bit of a pain with the soft water. Who knows, maybe if I can spawn these guys and earn a little bit of money, I can install an RO system that I can turn off and on just for certain tanks. Now, these two females seemed to be looking at each other through the glass, and I don't know how she can even see through all that like calcium buildup. I'm wondering if they can see each other and they're like aggressive about it, or if they were seeing their reflection. Let me know if you guys think that I should put something between the tanks so they can't see each other. Now, this tank is still a little cloudy. It'll clear up here soon. This is the last male I'm dropping in, so from right to left on the top rack it was male, female, female, male. I didn't want the two males to be able to see each other. Granted, this male is on the other side of the 5 gallon, so he might not even be able to see the female on the other side of him, the black ram on the right side of him. He'll be able to see the gold rams on the left of him, which there's one right there. And that fish is absolutely beautiful. We'll have to probably wait for it to get bigger before I can sex it. Maybe it's a male. I'm trying to count the dorsal fin things, the little spines. This one was a little shy, more shy than the other ones. When it came into the tank, it kind of went straight to the back. And then I went and checked on it about an hour later, and it still was just in the back of the tank. So here we go. I think this was about 40 minutes later, just checking on them. And they are doing well. They're kind of just sitting in the same spot where they came into the tank. We'll be putting some more furniture in their tank for them. Some terracotta pots and some rocks and such. And we will be checking on them, obviously, again tomorrow and see how they're doing. Let me know, do you guys like the black rams better or the golden rams better? I like the black rams the best.